Thank you for listening to The Path to Purpose, which airs Sundays at 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. Pacific. Listen to the show only on the Resilient Christian Radio.
This is not a time to go.
And all of that stuff, because girl, you're on fire. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Makeva Sutton. I am from Shelbyville, Tennessee. Been in Nashville for about 8 years. I don't really know where to begin. It happened like in 2003, 2004. Well, no, it happened back in 1998. I had caught a drug charge. I had went to jail, had taken a charge for a guy that I thought loved me, I thought I was in love with. And I took his drug charge and went to jail for about 10 months. I was ready to go. Got in there, got released, went home, and I started back doing the same thing, started back falling into the same path. So I met this guy, whatever. I really didn't like him. So I went back to prison because I had violated probation. I wasn't on parole yet, so I had violated probation, went back to jail, got out. And then I started back selling drugs again. But
okay, wait a minute. Let me interrupt you right quick. So the first time you went to jail for a man that you love, right? Is that what you're telling us?
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah, okay. I took his charge. And then got out of prison, met this guy. I did not like him at all, but it was the security of what I needed in my life. And so, and everything that I was used to, so I needed to find out how to go back to living the same lavish lifestyle that you want to call it, that I had been used to living. So I met this guy, married this guy, and I taught him how to sell drugs so he could keep up the image of what I was used to, because I didn't want to go back to jail. I didn't want to go back to prison. So instead, I kind of like played the devil advocate. I used him to do what I knew how to do. And so did that. He cheated on me. He went to jail, went to prison. And then I had to start getting back into the flow of keeping up my house, keeping up my clothing, keeping up my hair, my nails, making sure my kids were straight. So I started back selling drugs. And this time I went as hard as I knew how to go. And it was like a nonstop thing. It was like a job, an 8-hour job, 24/7. I was selling drugs. Selling drugs, one of my best friends snitched on me. And I caught a 24-year sentence. Well, actually, they were trying to give me more time, but because my charges were within a 24-hour period, they had to merge my cases together to make 8, 8, and 8, which was 8 sentences, 24, but had to break it down to a 16-year sentence. So went to prison, got into prison. I didn't want to really live the lifestyle of in prison, but sometimes you have to live that lifestyle. But you can't live in two places at one time. Either you're going to live on the outside or you're going to live in the inside. And trying to live on the outside and what's going on, that can stress you out and you'll get defocused. So I needed to get focused. Well, being in prison, I didn't want to go to church because I thought, I really did not like God anymore because God didn't help me out. He didn't get me out of the situation that I was in. But it wasn't God, it was me. I had put myself in there. And so after that, I didn't want to go to church anymore. I didn't want to read my Bible anymore. And then I had met this girl that I just absolutely love. We are still friends to this day. She used to always come to my cell and be like, come on and go to church with me. And I'm like, girl, I don't want to go to church. I don't want no parts of God, period, point blank. Because I felt like God had left me. And so after that, I started going to church with her. And she wanted me to sing, and I didn't want to sing anymore. I didn't really want any part that had to do with Christianity, period. Not that I was an atheist or anything. I just felt like God did not love me anymore. So went to church. I started a little bit getting back into church because church has always been in me. I've always been in church from sun up to sundown, church. So went to church and started singing and got a little bit more in the church, started going every time the doors would open for us to be able to go, because where I was at TPW, I was locked down 23-1. So 23 hours of a day, you're locked down except for that 1 hour you go out to eat, either gym or either you have a class, and then you're back in your cell until you shower or have rec time or something like that. So every time the doors was open, I was going to church. Well, then I had joined a group in there called Hands of Grace, and I started doing sign language and getting connected with God again or whatever. And so after that, I had got moved to the annex. I got in some trouble, and then they shipped me to Memphis, Tennessee. And when I went to Memphis, it was like a free world in Memphis. So got to Memphis, Tennessee, and I needed a covering, because if I didn't, I was going to fall to the wayside. So I got there, went to the chapel, and got into a program, and I had taught 12 women how to do sign language. Well, after all that, still doing my thing in the prison system, I got released from prison in March the 2nd of 2009. And I wanted to go home because I wanted to be with my father, but my father was real sick. And he didn't want me to come back home because he felt like I would start back falling into the things that I was so used to in life, and that was selling drugs, not working, and none of that. So I moved to Nashville, got to Nashville. I went back to high school, got my high school diploma. I graduated. Then I went on to college. I still have a couple of more hours to complete. Went on to college, and I've been here in Nashville for 8 years now. And the day I got out of prison, I was told that I'll be back in a year. Well, I've been out for 8 years, and that's only by the grace of God that I've been out for 8 years. And so without God, I knew that I could not make it. And I struggle every day with the process of I just want to give up, but knowing that God is on my side, I can still push forward. I can make it. But in the midst of all that, I've always wanted to reach out to some woman, some young girl, some child that is going through what I've been through, being without my kids for 6 years. They're having to take care of each other and grow up without me for 6 years. But while I was behind prison, I always took care of my kids. I would send Christmas presents. I would send money if I had it on my books. But I was lucky because my sister and at the time, her boyfriend, they took my kids so the state wouldn't take my kids, and they kept my kids and raised my kids for 6 years. But when I got out of prison, I felt like I had to make up for the 6 years that I had missed in their life. And I was struggling with that because I didn't feel like I owed anybody but my children. But my kids were taken care of. And I had a daughter who joined the gang. She always told me she hated me. I didn't love her. I wasn't nothing. I wasn't a good mother, this, that, and the other, because I had went to prison. But what she had failed to realize, the things that I was doing was to be able to take care of them. Because I was a single mother. I didn't have men around like that. So they didn't know, but they only knew what they saw me doing. So in the midst of all that, for the past 8 years, I've always been trying to make up for what I've missed in their life. And it's been stressful. It's been hard. But God has been good to me. God has continually steadied my feet some kind of way, even though I want to turn my back, I want to give up. But in the midst of it, God always told me, I didn't leave you, Makeva. You left me. I've always been here for you. And so I've been trying to get into church. I had joined the church, and I had a very, very good pastor, a good shepherd, and that I've learned from. He's no longer my pastor anymore. But, the man really taught me how to live. And so because I've always had that thought about it's a lot easier if I just don't do this and I do this. If I stop working, I can always go back to selling drugs, and it's a lot easier. And but once I look at it, it's not easier, it's only harder because I'm always running and always watching my back. But it's been a struggle. But what I can say is that everybody goes through something in life, but you can't make up for what you've done in the past. You can only proceed to work on the present and look forward to the future. And so the things that we go through, God already knew that you were going to go through it. It was just a past or a stumbling block that you had to get over. So that's where I've been in my life for the past 8 years. But I've been blessed. I have 3 children. My son is the oldest. He's 26, been in college. My girls have graduated with honors, been in college. All my children are old, not old, but they're older. I was blessed with 9 grandkids. And to look at me, you would have never thought that I've been through any of what I've told you guys. But by the grace of God, I'm still standing.
That's absolutely wonderful. That you have overcome those things. Let me back your story up just a little bit. Okay. And I want to go before you met the guy that you fell in love with, that got you all integral into the lifestyle of being in the drug life and living that type of lifestyle. Before you met him, did you have some type of empty void in your life that caused you to want and yearn money like that? Or were you infatuated with the thought of having this glamorous life? Or, like, what really attracted you to him? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, let me back up a little bit on that story. Actually, I was 13 years old when I first met my son's father. And he was a big-time drug dealer in our hometown. But before that, I used to do pageants. I modeled. And I had very good grades in school, but as he was giving gifts, I liked that. You know what I'm saying? I liked the new shoes. I liked driving the cars. I liked the jewelry. I liked getting my hair and nails done. And then I just kept up with that lifestyle after he went to prison for so many years. It was like I fell into that trap of trying to find somebody that could keep up the standards. So that's how I met the guy that I took his drug charge. That's how I met him, and he had the nice car. He had all the money, and I knew that if he sold drugs, I could pretty much, with my looks, get him to do whatever I wanted him to do.
Gotcha. So it almost sounded like you needed some direction when you were a young girl coming up. Mm-hmm. To let you know that you don't actually need these things from men. And I think that a lot of times we get caught up into looking at media and television, and we think that the stuff that goes on TV, we want that limelight, and not really even knowing that it's an illusion. And not saying that, people who are in the profession of being celebrities or being on TV or whatever, that their life is not real, because it is real. I work with celebrities all the time. It is a real life that they lead. But what I am saying is that oftentimes the way that things are being jammed up in the outlet of media and the influence of television, it kind of puts things in perspective that you have to be this type of person. You want to be this type of person. This is the lifestyle that you should lead. And it's almost like a source that draws you in to want you. I mean, that kind of makes you want more if you don't have mentors to look up to, or a mother or father figure to show you that there's something else out of life that you can get, and not just this. With
me, I did a lot of sneaky stuff. So, like, I hid a lot of stuff from my father. So,
check us out at Facebook at RCR Network, and also on Twitter at RCR_network, and our website at rcrnetwork.com.